Well, let's talk about it. Many times, parents and their teenagers, there is always a battle. The other day, some teenagers came to my house and, they said, oh, one of them said she would like to come and stay in my house for the holiday. I said, okay, no wahala. However, I have my rules and regulations, and one of such is that you see that your phone, you are only going to get to use it 2 hours a day, and that's because you are in the university. So 1 hour to chat with your friends and 1 hour to do your research. And she said, no, 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 I will not come again. And I said, no, if you have something meaningful you're actually doing online, why not? You can have access, unlimited access, as long as you're doing something productive. So I can actually imagine. And she said something like, nah, me and my phone, we are not separable. My phone and I can never be apart. That's the only thing that keeps me going. I can imagine the battle at home over phone. Every time teenagers and their parents, they are always at loggerhead. Now today we are going to be looking at some battles teenagehood brings that parents and their teenagers are always fighting. Phone addiction, rebellion, talking back, secretiveness and lying, breaking rules, even sexual activity. We are going to be looking at these battles, talking about disrespect and rudeness, talking about constant argument and power struggle. I've mentioned that. Bad friends and peer influence, lack of motivation and laziness. This is a big one. They seem not to understand that their lives belong to them. They are not taking leadership and ownership of their lives. Parents have all these battles all of the time. So we are going to sit down today. I hope you have your writing materials with you as usual, because you are going to be taking notes on how to actually practical solutions. My name is Enimio Rebel, and this is Parenting with Enimio Rebel. Now, this is brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. The Visionary Parents Academy is an academy where parents get empowered. They get practical strategies on how to raise the children that God has blessed them with. And we have a conference coming up, Winning the Parenting Battle Conference, where we are going to have speakers who will come and share their real life struggles, the questions they once had, the struggles they once had, and they are going to be teaching you how they actually cracked the code, what they did differently that helped them win in their parenting. They are going to be sharing that with you from 21st, 25th, 27th, 28th, 29th to 29th of June. That's this month. So if you have not registered, hey, come in and join us for the conference. It promises to be very empowering. It promises to be fire-packed. You are going to get solutions to your parenting struggles. Excuse me, that noise is disturbing me, please. Sure. So it is Winning the Parenting Battles Conference. Please do well to join us already, because it is next week, Tuesday, that we are getting started. So today we are talking about battles parents have with their children, teenagers. We started at the beginning of this month. It was your battles with your toddlers, and then we moved to battles with your preteens. Now it is battles with your teenagers. So if you are a parent of toddlers, you want to go to 2 weeks ago to see our video. If you are a parent with preteens, you want to go to last week to see our video. If you are a parent of teenagers, you have teenagers with you, you want to stay here today, you want to get your writing materials, and you want to get your water, your popcorn, because we are about to give you some solutions. Okay, someone has joined me and they have said, my children are extremely spoiled. I envy Africa parents. Ooh, I get it. Now, in our conference for next week, we are going to, that is where we have an American mom, who is going to teach us the difference, what parents abroad, parents in the US, parents in America, parents in all those worlds, parents, what they need to do, like practically. Because even in Africa, we hear a lot of things like, Oyibo children talking about white, their children are spoiled. And it's not true, because I may not be living in the US. I have parents who live in the US, live in other countries, and we see that they are raising children who are not spoiled. So we are going to have this parents, this coach Karen, come and share with us practical solutions to raising children who will not be spoiled. We are going to be having her. So please, you want to join us next week from 24th to 25th. And Karen's session is on the 24th, 6 p.m. by Africa time. I'm going to work it out now. Maybe I'll share it, respond to your message. 6 p.m. here should be like 2 p.m. or thereabouts. 2 p.m. or thereabout, she's going to be giving us practical solutions on how to raise children who are not spoiled abroad. Okay, let's go. Now, the first thing we want to look at is phone addiction. Phone addiction for children, for teenagers rather. Very many teenagers are addicted to their phones, and it is a problem. Addicted to their phone, no limit, no filters, even what they share online, no filters. It's a problem. Now, one of the realities with this internet age is that, like I tell my teenagers in church, and also shared in the Visionary Parent Academy, that you don't even need research, or maybe you don't even need research to tell you that this generation, they are going to be super wealthy. They are going to have an easy life. Gen Zs, they're having it easier than the millennials. That is just the simple truth. Gen Alphas, they are going to have it easier than the Gen Zs, and Gen Beta, it is going to go on and on. And one major reason they're supposed to have it easier is because of technology, especially because of advancement in the internet space. We keep seeing a lot of things coming up. We see Facebook now being monetized. When we started Facebook, a lot of us didn't see the future apart from just not even networking, apart from just sharing our life, just gisting and all of that. So people who actually took Facebook far, today they have large followership. They have been monetized. Even when they are not making so much impact, they are making so much money from it. Now TikTok came up, YouTube, Instagram, particular order, all these apps came up, and people are doing so well with it. Now, apart from people getting monetized and making money from it, people are actually, I'm doing this online. People are making impact. People are actually providing value. People are making connections, and all of that. Relationships are being built online. People who have not met face to face, they are building relationships online, and it is even going to get better. The children are going to have more opportunities actually. Now, here's the irony of it. I tell my children in church, is the same way they are going to have a lot of opportunities. Some people are going to be so broken. Some people are not going to have any opportunity. Some people are going to be super, not just poor, they are going to be wretched. Some people are going to be depressed. You know why? Because the same way some people actually taking advantage of these things, some children are just going to use their phone, be addicted. They will not learn life skills because they are addicted to the internet. They spend all day on the internet, so they will not learn any life skills, and they will not even take advantage of the opportunities that are abound on the internet. They will not learn a skill because the internet is very exciting. You want to watch skits, before you know what is happening, you are sleeping on it. You are going on and on watching skits, and you realize, oh, you spent an entire week online being unproductive. You have not even fed yourself. A lot. Now, talk about sites that are deliberately derailing these people, derailing young children. You talk about a lot of things that are online that will pollute their mind. So the internet, there is definitely a need for teenagers not to be addicted to the internet. Unfortunately, many teenagers are addicted because it is easy, it is fun, it is entertaining. That is what they want. Now, the first thing you want to do as a parent, you want to have a sincere conversation with your child, with your teenager. You want to have a sincere conversation with them. You want to help them see how people are actually making money, how they are the ones that are actually sponsoring people, being able to do the things those people are doing. What happens to you also taking advantage of the internet? What happens to you doing something there? Why do you always have to just watch, consume? If you are being productive there, if you are using it to live a productive life, a purposeful life, it is okay, it's understandable. We are not going to call that addiction, because you are actually using it to add meaning to people's lives and use it to add meaning to your life. But when you are just consuming, you are not creating. You are consuming, you are playing games from morning to evening, you are watching skits. People created that games, and each time you play a game, you are paying them. When you are actually watching skits, lifestyles and all of that, people are creating those things, and the more you watch them, the more you put money in their pocket. You are not making money, you are just having those particular things you are addicted to. make you lazy, make you unproductive, make you lose your focus in life. You are going to have this conversation with your children. They need to see the reality. They need to understand. My oldest child is 13, and I always let them know that, see, the internet is as beautiful as it is. It can actually derail you. It can actually make your life slow. They have that understanding. So it is why when we have boundaries around our phones, boundaries around our gadgets and screen time, it is not a fight. We are not fighting about it, because they have basic understanding of how these things impact them. It's not just to teach them, but it is also to break it down in such a manner that they understand. They understand. One day I told my children that too much screen time makes you aggressive. And yes, they see it practically. I also told them that too much screen time makes you not able to sleep. They see it practically. Because when I want them to experience these things I'm teaching, I give them opportunity to experience it. When I want them to when I want to reach their heart, when I want to convince them, I give them opportunities to experience it. So with this, they actually experience that how when they watch television too much, not even just scrolling on the internet and all of that, when they watch television too much, they don't fall asleep easily. And the following day, they want to go to school. They see the effect of it. So you want to have an honest conversation with your children, with your teenager, an honest conversation. If it's not making sense to them, break it down. If you are not able to break it down, get a mentor to help. This is why it's important to register them in mentorship classes. Get a mentor to help you reach them, to break it down to help them understand it. That is the first thing you want to do. Have an honest conversation with them. Now, the next thing you want to do to help your children fight addiction is both of you want to sit down. You want to create a proper structure. Yeah, you have a phone for a purpose. You have a phone for a purpose. Now, what is the purpose? Now, this is why very many parents will say, no, my children will not have a phone until they are 17, until they are 16, until they are 18. I don't argue with you. I'm saying that if my child is 2 years old and my child has a need for a phone, why not? I'm going to empower my child, and I'll give my child a phone if they have a need for a phone. A need, that's the clause, if they have a need for a phone. So if your child is 17 years old, your child has, your teenager, what is the need? Why do they have that phone? There has to be a need, first of all, for the phone. I was talking to my teenagers in church one Sunday, the other Sunday, and the question was around phone. Those that didn't have phones, they were talking about, oh, they don't have phones and all of that. So we're looking at it. Those that had phones, I asked them, what do you need your phones for? And I realized that very many of them, they have no need for their phones. Oh, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining, ma. Or Jennifer, Smiles. They have no need for phones. They have phones. I was asking, okay, what is the need for your phone? I heard things like playing games. Is that why your child should have a phone? Your teenager should have a phone. So, like I said, you need to have honest conversation with your teenager about phone use. Phone can either make them gadgets. We're talking about phone addiction now. Phone can either make them or break them. Have a sincere conversation with them. And if they have a phone, what is the need? The phone is to serve a purpose. There is a need for a phone. So you have to help them create a structure around that phone use. Now, one thing with teenagers is if you are imposing it on them, they may hold back. It may become a power struggle. They may not want to actually listen to you. It is why you are not imposing it on them. You are sitting down with them. Both of you are sitting down and actually create your phone time use and phone time rules or your media rules, however you call it. You want to create it. In my home, for example, my kids, they know that, okay, this is it. They have things they need to do, whether it's midterm, whether it's holiday, whether it's school days. Before they can, school days, they don't really use gadgets, except, of course, they have a need for it, which is they have an assignment, and the assignment is not in their textbook. Maybe the teacher wants to stretch them. Okay, sorry, I got a call from there. That interrupted my class. So the truth of the matter is, if We are teaching them to persevere. We are teaching them patience. We are teaching them to, we are building certain skills in them. So we are teaching them delayed gratification. We are teaching them to be able to stretch themselves. Phones, internet makes things super easy. So if they have an assignment and they just go online, what is going to happen? They are just going to get the answer. AI now makes things super easy. They go on chat, and before you say Jack Robinson, they are getting the answer. They will not even have time at all to even be able to put their brain into use. That is one of the things that the internet has taken away. They will not have the time to put their brains into use. I remember back then when we needed to do research, we go to the library and all of that. But this time around, they are not going to the library because everything is just at the palm of their finger. And it's not even as if they are going to take their time to patiently the processes have been taken away. That is why for my children, when they have research to do, no, phone is not the first option. Even when they have some new vocabularies they want to check out the meaning. Nah, they are not using the phone to check. Yes, they were doing something and we had some new vocabularies to check. No, they were not using the phone to check. They were using their dictionary to check, because it teaches them processes. It teaches them self-discipline, not now. It teaches them to minimize the quick solutions and actually go the length. That is the idea. So they need to have a valid reason for a phone, which you are going to sit down and you are going to teach them. Everybody may be doing it. Oh, that is the way everybody is doing it. We are in internet era. We are the Gen Z. It is speed, 3G, 5G speed. That is how we are working. So we don't have the time to go and pick our dictionary and be checking it out. I understand. We are in that era where speed is 4G, 5G, speed it is. Before you know what is happening, we have 6G, 7G, speed it is. I get that fact. But hey, that speed does not apply to, you need to learn to also that patience in your personal life, in your own dealings. Because the internet speed is the internet speed. It is not your life speed. So they need to learn they need to learn processes. They need to learn patience. So that is why personally, I would say no. Use a dictionary to check. Do your research. When you need a plan B, that is when plan A is not yielding, then we can now come to, okay, let's research it. Let's see how it works. Just like they are solving math problem. I encourage them, okay, try it again. Try it a couple of times, go back to the example you are giving, try it. If you don't get it, if you really have put in a lot of effort, you are not getting it, then we can go to YouTube, we can go to Khan Academy or all of that to see how we can get it figured out, so that they will learn patience, they will learn to put their brains into use and not always rely on the internet and all of that. So you need to have this conversation with your children, and they need to definitely understand that there is a need. There is a purpose for it. There's a purpose for it. The purpose is not to take away their creativity. It's not to take away their initiative. It's not to take away the opportunities they have to build life skills and to grow. This morning I was telling my children that there are skills you need to thrive. Now, whether you build the skills today or you are lazy about it, tomorrow you will come back and build the skills. And I was using something as an example for them. I was telling them that, see, it is like this is your early years, where your rainy season, where the land is super soft, so you are planting. It is easy for you to plant. You want to dig the soil and lay your foundation and build. It is super easy now. You know why? You don't have worries, you don't have distractions, you don't have major things you do with your time. You are not working and you are wanting to make money to take care of your family, to do something. You don't have bills you are paying, you don't have burdens and all of that. So it is your soft time. So you are laying the foundation, and you quickly lay the foundation, and you are building. You are developing your skills, you are developing your skills, your capacity. You are building now. But if you choose, because it is soft time, because the fact that I said it is raining, it is your soft time, it is raining, right? So you are going to say, let me sleep under the duvet. It is raining outside. It is time for you to enjoy, jump under the rain and enjoy digging out now. Because if you don't enjoy it now, guess what? As you grow older, the soil becomes harder. And it's not only going to get harder, rocks. Because each time you say no, each time you sleep on, you go and lie under the duvet, you are throwing rocks. and the soil is getting harder. I said, a time will come in your adult life, you have not built, you are not on your own, right? All those things, worries, they are coming in. The bills you need to pay, they are coming in. You are not on your own, and you want to stay in that place you have built. You realize, I have not built anything. I told them, guess what? You are going to go back to start building. I said, that is why we reparent ourselves as adults. I said, it's not always because our parents failed us. It's also because our parents tried to teach us, we refuse to learn. So now, and whether you learn them now, you will need them. I gave an example. I said, people go to learn how to communicate. When you have a business, you want to go and learn how to relate with people. You want to learn how to listen, how to understand. I said, those are the things you are being taught now. So don't interrupt, to listen, to put yourself in someone's shoes. You are being taught those ones now. You don't care. Your emotions, you let your emotions take over you. But when you grow out, you are going to learn that. I said, you are being taught to set your goals now. Be super intentional with your life. I beg, it is raining, you want to cover. Remember that it's raining. It is time for you to actually dig. The soil is super soft for you to dig. But when the soil becomes hard, I guarantee you that you will not be able to dig. That is when you not being able to dig is you going for counseling. You not being able to dig is you taking courses, reading books, even going for therapy. It is what results to character defects, to break down all of that. So as parents, we need to constantly have this kind of conversations with our children. Use real life examples. If you have people around you who are suffering from addiction or who make poor choices, you are not gossiping, you are not mocking them, you are just teaching your children from practical things happening around you. Even you as a parent, you have a lot of your experiences you can use to teach your children. My children always ask me, when we are talking about something, they will ask me about, okay, when you were younger, how did you own? I remember my children have asked me, was that the first boyfriend you ever had? Like, questions that will make you ask yourself, why did I bring about this topic now? Why did I bring about this topic now? So you need to constantly have this kind of conversations with your children. And when it comes to phone addiction, you also need to have this realistic conversation with your children. They need the phone. Yes. Why do you need the phone? How does that purpose, the thing you want to play game all day, how does it align with where you are going to in the end of it all? You need to have a sincere conversation with your children. And then you set your boundaries. Talk about phone boundaries. You have to agree, because this now is not a toddler. It's not even a preteen. It is a teenager. Remember, when they become teenagers, they believe, oh, I know what is good for myself. I'm not a baby anymore. Stop treating me like a baby. They believe they know what is good for themselves. So what you want to do, it is why when you have teenagers, you are having conversations with them. You are now mentoring them, and not necessarily forcing them, imposing things on them. There is never even a time where that should be the option. Forcing your children. I say it all of the time, because if you want to be able to reach the heart of your child, you don't force them. You don't force them. It is why there was one time on Facebook we have this argument about forcing children to go to church on an empty stomach. I have never forced my children. Nah, I don't have to force them. They go to church without eating. I don't have to force them. I only have to talk to them. They understand why they need to fast. They understand that it's why they need to fast. They want something. Each individually wants something from God. So one of the ways to communicate to God, to let God know that they are serious about what they want, one of the things God wants them to do and they need to do is for them to fast and pray while at it. So if they want something from God, and God is the one that can give them, so why do I need to force them to fast? So people will say, growing up, they were forced to fast. So what is the big deal? That is it. I told them that is why at the end of the day, you have children, they go to universities, they are in campuses, and on Sundays, they are not even going to church. They don't go to church on Sundays, and they are reading their storybooks, they are doing their laundries and all of that. Why? Because you have forced them over time. So now that they're independent on their own, you never reach their hearts. So now that they're independent on their own, you're no longer forcing them again. So when you are creating phone boundaries with your children, you need to sit down and have the conversation and have the agreement. You need to like present your case, let them present their case, and you have an agreement. I was talking to my teenagers in church one day, and one of the teenagers told me that one of the things that helped her minimize her phone issue was the fact that her mom, she was on the same page with her mom. So they had an agreement when she needed to use the phone. And so what will happen is her mom will take the phone. The other times her mom will take the phone. They had an agreement. They had a contract, written agreement. Now this is where the family constitution, which we use in the Visionary Parent Academy, comes in. You have a family constitution that guides, and everyone that comes to your house is subject to your constitution, even you as a parent. Because you have a need for your phone, your child is going to understand, okay, my parents have a need for my phone. And your phone is not just, oh, I was sharing today. Was it today I was sharing? Or was it on Facebook I was sharing? Or in the Visionary? Okay, I think it was in the Visionary Parent Academy I was sharing. I said, for example, you as a parent, you are telling your child that phone is not as in you can create your entertainment without phone. Go and create your entertainment. Don't rely on phone for your entertainment. And your children sees that each time you are bored, you are always on your phone, watching skits, giggling and all of that. You are not modeling what you are preaching. Yes. Because you have told your children, okay, I use my phone because I use it for business, I use this for that, I use this for this. If you work 5 to 6, you have a structure. So as a parent, you should have a structure around your phone. You know, of course, except I have a call, then I cannot go and reach out to my phone. So the same way you want your children to be disciplined when it comes to the use of their phones, the same way you want to show them that it is actually possible to be disciplined. You cannot tell your children that don't rely on phone for entertainment, create your entertainment yourself, be creative and all of that, and you are constantly on your phone. When you are bored, when you are not at work, you are at home, you're on your phone, you have something cooking on the fire, you're on your phone, you are eating, you're on your phone, you are anytime you are constantly on your phone. No, you need to actually create a structure that models discipline to your children. From that, they will also learn that, okay, it is possible to actually do other things and not always be on the phone, you know. Okay, so create set limits. You have to agree with your children. You set limits. You make sure it is realistic. If they have to talk to their friends, then you create a time for that. What do they need the phones for? What are the things they actually need the phone for? You look at it together. Maybe they need phones for their research. What time are they doing research? You look at it together. They need phones to be online with their friends. What time are they going to be online with their friends, and why, and what time? You look at it together. And maybe they want to play games or they want to see a movie. What time is it? You look at all of this together and you create a structure around it. So whenever they are not using this phone for this time, what you need to do is they have a central place where the phones are dropped. And for the first few times, it can be locked, because they'll be tempted. If you are just going back to revisit it now, they can be tempted, so it can be locked. But after then, I tell you, if you are consistent, I tell you that they will not even be bothered, especially if they have alternatives to it. There are other things they do. There are crafts they are learning. They have other things they are doing, you know, because phone has become a major distraction, leading to underproductivity in teenagers. I was telling some teenagers that, see, you have the internet, that you're supposed to do a lot of research and excel in your academics. But unfortunately, instead of you to do research and know better and get better, you will spend that time just wasting away online. So you need to create a structure and all of that. We've talked about phone addiction. So let's talk about sexual activities, curiosity, porn, and all of that. You know, as children become teenagers, just like the other day I shared something on Facebook. I said exposure to phone, to the internet, can also make children be ready earlier than they are supposed to be ready. I shared something on Facebook, even though I didn't have time to expatiate on it. Thank you so much, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. I didn't have time to expatiate on it. I said, you see, the same way you see things online, You see destinations, you see fashion items, you see meals being prepared. The same way you want to go. Oh, I see this beautiful destination. Let me save up money to go. I see this beautiful, rather I saw this beautiful fashion item, fashion piece. Let me save up money to get it. You are eager to get it. The same way when your children keep being exposed to your teenagers, inappropriate sexual content all of the time, they are eager to experiment. Sometimes it's not because they've been abused or somehow. It is just their curiosity, their eagerness to experiment because of what they have filled their minds with. Now, these are some of the things you talk to them when you have that sincere conversation I talked about with them. Some of the things you will expose their minds to. The same way you are curious, the same way they are curious, the same way you want to just see it, the same way they want to have it. Now and then, because they are growing, their hormones are also playing tricks on them. So it's easy. They are seeing all these things. Their hormones are playing tricks on them. It is super easy. Now, this is why, as a parent, you need to guide your atmosphere. You need to make sure that your atmosphere is guided constantly by your things they consume. They are filtered. Things they hear, they are filtered reasonably. And your children, they need. There is a teenager in my church that she's kind of, I don't want to use the word, in love. She's so attached to a particular boy. So one day, a teacher was talking to the mom. She lives with her grandma, something like that. The grandma is pretty young. A teacher was talking to the grandma. The grandma would say, all these habits of hers, that there was one day in church, she beat her. She beat her a great deal. That was actually that was prior to we noticed her body language and decided to talk to her. You beat her, and today she's doing the same thing. In fact, before I even joined the teenage department, it's been on, because when I joined, when I noticed it, I just was told, oh, this one. These teenagers, they actually need to understand when it comes to them going into sexual activities, especially your girl child, they need to understand certain things. You need to sit down and properly educate them. Your teenage daughter is not the one you should be hiding a lot of things from. They should know that, for example, there are times in the life as a teenager that you will naturally be vulnerable. Like naturally you will be vulnerable. You know that. In adulthood, they will say, oh, that the time that you'll be horny, you'll be vulnerable, that you're around your menstrual cycle, the times you're ovulating, before you ovulate, when you even have your period around, there are times you will just be more vulnerable. Your teenage daughter should be able to know these things. Yesterday or so, I shared in the Visionary Parent Academy the need for us to talk to our children about signs of grooming. I always talked about the need for us to fill our children's love tank, because when they feel empty inside, they are going to yearn for love outside. Now imagine they are yearning for love, someone is grooming them, and that period they feel vulnerable. It is going to be like like dog on heat, not easy for them to hold back. So as a parent of teenager, you want to teach your teenagers these things. You want to be as sincere as possible. It's not time for you to hold back. You are not spoiling them. You are empowering them. They need to know these things. They need to understand themselves. That is self-aware. They need to be self-aware of, oh, what is going on with me at this time. They need to understand how they can be in certain areas, how they can. I was reading something. Someone was talking about how certain smell, maybe perfume, when the opposite sex smell like this, how it turns them on. Your teenagers, they should be able to understand these certain things. They can be in an environment, someone is saying certain things, they are feeling funny. They can be in an environment, they are seeing certain things, they are feeling funny. So it makes them vulnerable. They need to understand these things, because very many times you see maybe teenage pregnancy happen. It's not because you have not taught them. It's not because they are not aware. Sometimes a lot of factors. They just feel vulnerable at that time. They feel helpless at that time. They don't have the willpower now. It's as if they've gone too far. Now, it is why you need, as a parent, to be as open as possible. Your teenagers need to know these things. They need to be super guided. I was telling my teenagers in church one time, I said, sometimes you feel, all my friends are doing it, I want to do it. I said, do you know that sometimes all your friends are not doing it? Do you know that that particular friend that seems to be doing it, that seems, she's doing it, she has boyfriends, she's everywhere. Do you know that it is possible that your friend wants to make you escape? They want to experiment with you. They want you to go and do it. Then you come back and tell them how it feels. They want to experiment with you so they can come and tell you things. Do you know that sometimes someone, even your classmate, they are being overly nice to you, being overly attentive to you? Do you know that sometimes it can be that they're actually grooming you? It's not because they are harmless. You need to understand. You need to be able to define your boundaries. You need to have your values. I was teaching them. Now, these are things we need to deliberately teach our teenagers. As a parent, if you don't know how to go about it, it is why you need a teen mentorship class for your teenager. If you miss 101, you can reach a teen mentor 101. We have them in the Visionary Parents Academy. We have the self-led visionary self-led leadership course we run every holiday. We are planning to make it without holidays all through the year. We are having one in summer class, in summer holiday. You can register. You can reach out to a teen mentor who will help you teach your teenagers these things. Now, the truth of the matter is, when it comes to, someone was asking the group one time, what is the big deal about having sex as a teenager and all of that? After all, it's not the end of the world. Nobody's saying it's the end of the world. But do you know that it exposes your teenager to certain mindset? It exposes them to certain lifestyle, to certain choices. Someone was talking about how he went, I had to share the video, even though the choice of words, I didn't quite like them. So he was talking about how he went, someone took him to a club. You can, if you follow me on Facebook, go and check. You see the video, one actor like this. If you don't follow me on Facebook, go and follow me, Enemy or Rebel. It's my page on Facebook. The same display picture you see here, because I think I have a couple of, I have old Facebook pages that I stopped using. So the display picture you see here is the display picture you will see the Enemy or Rebel. He was talking about how a friend of his took him to a club. Like in the club, he was watching men and women make out life. I was saying, God forbid, God forbid. Or how we had people ask, how did we get here? A lot of times it is because of the mindset. Not even a lot of the time. It's because of the mindset. And these minds are actually shaped because of experiences. When these people are not ready for it, they are not mature for certain experiences, it shapes their mindset. So that is why, yes, it is a big deal. So please, when it comes to sexual activities, many times children, it's not as if teenagers, it's not as if they do not know. They know, but they don't know what they are supposed to know. They don't know what they are supposed to know. So as a parent, you need to teach. Even for your boy child, not just your girl child, your boy child also needs to understand certain things. They need to understand that the images they see will mess up their head, will work with their brain. They need to understand that the things they listen to will mess up their brain. They need to understand that naturally, their bodies, as they become teenagers, their bodies are ready. Their bodies are ready. But just the same way their bodies are ready, the same way the images they see will stir up something they're not ready for. The same way the things they hear, the places they go, the same way even they can perceive some drugs people are taking, smoking around them, can mess them up. They experiment with alcohol drinks they're not supposed to experiment with. There are drinks they will experiment with that will mess them up. There are girls that are their friends that will come and mess them up. It is why I tell my teenagers, I'm not saying don't carry colored hair. I'm not saying don't make hair that is as long as your feet, that from your head to your feet. I'm not saying don't wear crop dresses, don't expose your body. I'm only asking you, the attention that comes with all of that, are you ready for it? Because it comes with a lot of attention. By the time you are dressed like this, by the time you wear makeup, by the time you dress in a certain way, it comes with a lot of attention. And when these attentions begin to come here and there, and you begin to get groomed, you may not even realize it. And then you are in that your period of time when you are more vulnerable. I don't want to use the word honey. When you are honey, when you are vulnerable, it becomes easy. So no matter how much you try to fortify your defense, let me use the word fortify, you become vulnerable. You realize that you are falling yakata. No, it's a serious matter. You realize that you are falling yakata before you are ready to fall yakata. You realize that you can't say no, even when your mind is telling you, when you are supposed to say no, your flesh becomes so weak. So when I tell you, cover up, it is so that you don't make yourself vulnerable. And I'm not saying when you dress scantily and you get victimized, you know, something bad, somebody takes advantage of you for dressing scantily. I'm never saying it's your fault. It is not your fault. Because, hey, they won't steal a car that is parked because the car is fancy. So it's not your fault. However, I'm telling you that the way you dress brings a certain attention to you. And it is not even going to bring the same attention to you. It is going to bring, you are also sowing seeds in the minds of these young boys that their body is ready, that may not have worked on their mind. I tell them it's invitation to treats rather. It's an invitation to treat. So if you ever did something with law, you know what it means. An invitation to treat means. So yes, I've talked about sexual activities now. Porn also, you know, is part of it. When you are watching it, you are feeling your mind. Most times it is when they have phones that they watch them. It is why we go back to phones and talk about setting boundaries. It is why they need to have this information. It is why they need to understand that their minds is a powerhouse of their being. Their minds, if they don't see it, I know there's something we call intrusive thoughts. There was a time I wrote something about intrusive thoughts on Facebook. You know, there's something called intrusive thought, but where does it come from really? It comes from things that just seep in carelessly seep in. When you are least suspecting, they just seep in here and there, you know. So once sometimes you are not even thinking about that thing. It just intrusive thought, it just intrudes. You are not even thinking, you are just eating, doing something, and the next thing you just have a thought just intruding. Why? Where is it coming from? Something you have carelessly, ignorantly, or somehow seen somewhere. And for some teenagers, it intrudes and they actually act on it. They are not able to say no. They act on it. So it begins with what you let into your mind. It is why porn is certainly a no-no. And again, it opens you up. It shapes your mind, it shapes their mindset and opens them up to a lot of things that they may not be proud of tomorrow. Oh, I've heard people talk about masturbation several times. I've read about it and I've heard things like, even author that you expect to know who, even, I remember one time Pastor Chris Oyakhilome was misquoted for saying masturbation is not in the Bible and all of that. It's not a sin or something like that because it's not in the Bible. People didn't listen to him to the end. Now imagine if your child takes it from that beginning, or your child is listening to people that listen to it, they didn't listen to it to the end. There is one author, I have almost all his books. The Strong-Willed Child, that wrote The Strong-Willed Child, and I have a couple of his books, you know, Dapsin. He wrote about masturbation, or let children do it in the secret. It's not a big deal and all of that. See, and I say, while you say it is not a big deal, they should do it, Do you know what you are doing? Because it takes self-discipline, right? For your child to say, no, I have the urge, I have the feeling, I feel like I am not doing it. Restraint, self-discipline. Isn't that what we need? Isn't that what we are talking about? Now you're telling them, oh, when you feel it, you do it. That is why when they see someone else in the future, they see the person, they feel it, they force themselves. That is why when they are married, they see another person, they force themselves or they go, because you have told them that they cannot discipline themselves when it comes to that. So it is why we sit down, we look at these things. Wisdom is profitable to direct. You are saying, oh, because it's not written in the Bible, it's not a sin. Or we are saying, because many people, it's something children feel naturally. You feel it naturally. So it's not a sin to act on it. Really? Your child is curious naturally, and they see a sachet of bleach naturally. So what should they do naturally? They should drink it naturally. Nah, really. So we need to have these conversations, these deep conversations with our children. You want to sex educate your child, make it holistic. We are talking about teenagers now. We're not talking about tatters. We are talking about teenagers. All they need to know, teach them when they are well empowered, not just by mere information, by having the skills, knowing what to do. It is easier for them to actually behave, meet expectations, because they have the skills. They know how. These things are things that will come. They will come, whether we like it or not. They will come. I have a teenager, a 13-year-old, who is battling masturbation. They will come. So when you feel it, what do? Some thoughts, and the more you expose yourself to certain things, the more you are going to pressure, and the more you act on it. I tell my children, the more you act on it, the more you are growing the muscles of you being unable to resist it, unable to discipline yourself when it comes to it. Talking about habits, building habits. The more you do practice, the more you do, the more you build your muscles, the more you are not able to say no. The same way, the more you say no, the more you are able to say no. And you are proud of yourself. You are building your self-confidence. Because when you wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the morning, you came to tempt me and I was able to say no. You feel happier. You feel proud. You have no skeleton in your cupboard. That is it. So I've talked about sexual activity. So the next one, we are talking about rebellion against faith or family values. When I was writing this thing down, when I was writing this particular point down, I actually was looking at teenagers not wanting to go to church. Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for joining. You want to go and start this class from the beginning, because we have discussed very vital issues. Start from the beginning, please. If you are just joining, start from the beginning. We have discussed very important issues. When I was going to write this point, talking about rebellion against faith and family values, what I had in mind was talking about teenagers not wanting to go to church, or if they're Muslim, not wanting to go to mosque, or just looking at Gen Z trend. As some people say, I prefer online service. Some will say, church is boring and all of that. The other day, my teenagers were telling me something that they know that that they want the church to be more fun. They want us to have more activities in the church. We have what we call things there, where we come to interact. They want more than that. They want a movie. I told them, okay, it's a good one, because we actually so because of them, I just introduced movie to our teenage movie and a lot of other activities to the teenage department, because I joined them not too long ago. So now the thing is boring. It's fun. I was telling them one thing. I told them that narrow is the gate that leads to heaven. You see, every single thing that will help you grow is not fun. that will help you grow, except you create fun into it. I told them, I said, you will see someone doing something with so much ease, with so much experience, you will think, oh, it's super fun. I tell you, it is not fun. Anything that will help you grow, it is not fun. I remember one time I saw somebody, I think, was it Davido or something like that? He just came from recording a song or something. He was talking about how he's been there for all day. Was it all day or 2 days or 3 days? They've been trying to get things right. And someone will see that, oh, they are shooting a movie, a music video and all of that is fun. They will not know how much effort. I also remember I saw an actress. She just came and she was now saying that people think acting is fun. That, yeah, it's fun when you love it. That they've been inside the room, sweating, no light because of the particular scene they had to act, no light or nothing. They were doing it, sweating when they come out. So the thing that actually helps you grow. Growth is not fun. So I was telling them, it takes self-discipline, it takes intentionality, it takes you to make up your mind. That is what you need. You need to have your mind made up. Don't sit back and be waiting for it to be fun. Because that thing that will help you grow, it takes you to make up your mind. You want to do it. Your parents go to work every day. I tell you, they will prefer to stay at home. It's more fun to stay at home, watch television and play away. But that is not what we provide for them. So I was telling them, now let's talk about values. One of the things about values is that for your children to uphold your values, your teenagers, they have to know how it benefits them. I've talked about this 1,000,001 times. If you have issues, if your values and your teenagers' values don't align, you keep having power struggles over values, it is because they do not know how it benefits them. You are a Christian, your teenager doesn't want to go to church. It is because they don't see the importance. You have probably been forcing them over the time. So they have no idea. They are not committed. Their heart is not there. Because they are not committed, they don't see the importance. It doesn't benefit them. They have been doing it because of you, doing it to please you. Not even to please you. They've been doing it because they had no say. Now they are independent. They don't want. It is what I say to parents. It is not force. It is not force. You will sit down. You have a conversation. You will reach the heart of your teen. They will have to understand how things work, how these things benefit them, how it works in their favor. And I tell you, if you are a parent of a teenager, you are struggling with your children going to church or taking God seriously, you are in luck. If Naya's story is definitely a good story, go on TikTok, go and watch that, go and watch it with your children from the beginning to the end. Go and watch it with your children. It will change, to stir something in them. As you watch them, pause and use it as a teachable moment. Begin to teach them. We've heard stories of people. Ben Carson, when he said, oh, he didn't know, he was so scared, he didn't know what to write in the exam. He thought, oh, I've come to the end of the road. After this, I will not continue on my journey because I knew I was going to fail. In the night, God came and showed him the exam. He was going to showed him some questions, and he got to the exam hall. They were the questions. Those are real life stories, real life testimonies. Begin to use it to teach them, reach their heart. It is their life, it is their decision, it is everything about them. You do not have to force them. You just keep ministering to them, talking to them, telling them. I tell teenagers that the Bible was written for you. It was written to guide you. There is nothing there that does not apply to you practically. It's not the way we learn to read the Bible, that hellfire and hell was our fear. Nah, it's beyond that. It was written for you practically. I was teaching them about David, and I was teaching them about commitment. I told them how self-confidence comes about, how you shine, how doors are opened for you. And the story of David killing the Goliath came very handy. They all sat down, they were looking at me because they have never seen it from that angle. That is it. Practically, the Bible is a book that motivates them. they'll say, okay, I'm still talking about the Bible. It's not actually about the Bible for Christian parents alone. We are talking about selling your values to your children. What is that value that you have power struggle with your child? They are lying. You want to talk to them. You want to teach them why. You are not lying for my good. I tell my children that when I tell you to say the truth, when you say the truth, does it make me taller? They say no. Does it, look, I have my goals. You all know my goals. It is written when we have our family goals. Everybody has their goals, right? If you tell a lie, does it help me achieve any of my goals? It doesn't make me make more impact. It doesn't make me make more influence. It doesn't make me make more income if you tell a lie. It doesn't affect me in any way. God says, the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. I'm doing that. So if you choose to tell a lie, it doesn't affect me in any way. Do you know who it affects? You. Because guess what happens? I will not be able to trust you. If I can't trust you, I can vouch for you. I can protect you. I can defend you. So what happens? When you need me the most, I will not show up because I will not have the courage. I told my children that all of you have a bank account with me, a trust bank account. Each time you tell a lie, you are withdrawing from that trust bank account you have with me. So at the end of the day, when you need to withdraw, something happens, you need me to trust you. That is, you need to withdraw. I go to the trust bank account, I open it, it is empty. There's nothing for you to withdraw. So that is why when you tell me something, I will not believe you. You know why? Because your trust bank account with me is empty. So, but each time you tell the truth, you do what you are supposed to do. You are feeling it. You are feeling it. When it's time for me to withdraw, when it's time for you to withdraw, I just withdraw. I trust you. Something happened about a month or so ago. My son was flogged in school. It wasn't a big deal that he was flogged. Of course, I know that that's one of the ways in school. One of the things they call discipline before I registered my children in that school. So I didn't have an issue with that. But I had an issue with the reason. Because it was like he was falsely flogged. So when he got home, he told me about it. I told him, okay, when I went to pick him, he told me about it. And I wanted to go back to the school. One, I was super angry. I always tell them the Visionary Parent Academy is not an emergency. So no house was burning. Nobody was dying. So there was no point for me to go. In that angry state, I may have gone there to say something I didn't want to say. So I just told him, okay. And then the teacher in question had also left the school. So I told him, okay, the following day I went there. And they called the teacher. The teacher was trying to say, no, that was not what happened. That was not what happened and all of that. I said, that was what happened. You know why? Because that was what my son told me. My son told me that was what happened, and that was what happened. So the teacher was there. I'm stressing it. I wasn't stressing it. I was just trying to. I told him that was what happened. And the teacher was like, no. So at the end of the day, he said he wants to go and call my son. Go and call him. He called my son. Coincidentally, as my son was coming, the other teacher that kind of was privy to everything that happened was there. And so before my son could even speak, that teacher has spoken exactly what my son spoke. So the other teacher was like, should I say, did not get, the information was passed to him. You know how they do this thing, this game we play that you tell somebody, before you get to the second, third, fourth person, the information would have changed. That was exactly what happened. So he ran with the information that was with him, which was not the authentic information. So they were kind of curious and we got talking. So it was an opportunity for me to kind of talk to them a bit about parenting, and they were all listening to me. I was talking about parenting. And one question was, what if my son had lied? What is the big deal? If my son had lied, why would I be embarrassed? I will not be embarrassed. It simply means that he has told me I cannot trust him. So it was even a very big win for me. If my son had lied, if it was investigated that my son had lied, it still would have been a very big win for me. Yes, because when I get back home, I will have to tell him, you see how you lied, how It led to embarrassment. It simply means that tomorrow, if you have issue, I will not go back. I will not go there and defend you because I will not believe you. It still would have been a win for me. Even yesterday, this morning, was it this morning or yesterday, during our prayer meeting, we still referred to it. That is it. Excuse me. Noel. Sorry, they are doing something down, and I heard a bang. Ebuka, what happened in the kitchen? What? You have to and his came on. Oh, okay, it's fine. I thought it was something more than that because I heard the loud noise, and then the loud noise, and all of you went quiet. I was wondering. Okay, it's okay. I'm not done with my class. I love you too. Bye bye. So sorry. I had a loud noise coming from the kitchen, and I actually in the kitchen experimenting with what they don't know how to do. And so I got and after the loud noise, I didn't hear their voices again. So I got really wondering, an emergency in this case, really, because life may be involved. Okay, so like I was saying, you need to reach the heart of your child, with your values. They need to understand why it is important, how it benefits them, and of course you have to model it. You must model. Modeling to your teenager now is you telling them that it is actually possible. It's like a man. Your son says, "Oh, I want to have biceps, 6 packs." You say, "Okay, he's going to the gym. That will give you that." And your son will be like, "How can he's not going to the gym?" You say, "Okay, let's watch it. You now going to the gym, and he's seeing you having the biceps. He's convinced that going to the gym is what will give him that." When you model it, you are telling them that, it is true, it is possible, it is doable, and they actually will learn to do it. That's number 3. Number 4, secretiveness and lying. I think about 4 or 5 weeks ago, we had a video on reasons your child will not open up to you. So for time's sake, I will not talk about secretiveness. If your child is not open up to you, if they are secretive, then it simply means that there is a reason. It's not always all the time that maybe because of the way you react is part of it. There are a lot of reasons that they may actually be secretive. It may be that they do not want to offend you, It may be like, they feel disappointed in themselves already. It may be that they feel, they want to handle it. It may be that, they feel you overreact, or you want to talk to the other people about them, They just want people to know, they regret their actions. A lot of reasons your child is secretive. So you want to go to how to make your child open up to you, or how to earn your child's trust, to watch a video, to watch our master class on that would deal with number 4, secretiveness. And of course, I just talked about lying. I didn't intend to talk about lying. I just talked about lying, in the previous one I talking about your values. I just talked about lying, gave example with that. That should help you with that. Things, disrespect or rudeness. Okay, yesterday on Facebook, the last time on Facebook, I talked about the reasons why your teenager may talk back, your preteen or your teen may talk back at you. That is being disrespectful. I gave you about 12 reasons why they may talk back at you. That class will definitely help you. So if you are following me on Facebook, you need to check that out. Why your teenagers may talk back at you. It's one of the reasons. They disrespect you, they are rude, they talk back at you. One of the reasons. The same reason they will talk back at people around them. The same reason they will talk back at people around them. You can see that class, that live on Facebook for it. I think Facebook live stays for 30 days. I don't have space in my phone. I would have just downloaded some of the videos I've been, because for the past 2 weeks I've been on Facebook every day. I'll still go to Facebook tomorrow. So I would have just downloaded them and put them here. But I don't have enough space in my phone. I'm struggling with space, so I'm not able to do a lot of the things I want to do. Okay, next one is, so you go and watch that. Why your teenagers may disrespect you or be rude to you or be disrespectful or rude, you go and watch that video. The next one is constant argument and power struggle. Obviously, because you don't agree on the same thing, so there's likely going to be power struggle, like you are daily fighting. You are always arguing about something, yearly match, refusal to back down. You are You say one thing, they do another thing. You don't want them to do this, they do that. You give them, they have responsibilities. You come back, they are not meeting it. It's just chaotic. I've seen this a great deal happen in very many homes. Teenagers and parents, they seem to be fighting for something, dragging something. It is constantly chaotic. So one of the things, like I shared yesterday, the video of yesterday will also help. One of the reasons is because of what has been modeled in the environment. What your atmosphere speaks. I've talked about this. As a parent, whatever your vision is, whatever your goals are, you must have an atmosphere that kind of breathes it, that aligns with it. You cannot want to say you want to raise children who have a bond, who have a relationship, and your atmosphere is constantly chaotic. I assure you that if your atmosphere is constantly chaotic, you are not going to raise children who are bonded. So you need to understand that what you nurture, what you accept, what you allow, the atmosphere you create, we go a long way. So if you are constantly arguing, there's constant power struggle, it simply means that there is no clear expectations. There is no clear expectations. This is why every parent needs a family constitution. It's a clear expectations of what you are, roles, responsibilities, boundaries, everything. Talk about every single thing you need in your home. It's in the family constitution that we have in the Visionary Parent Academy. You can create your own. You can sit down and look at which areas do you constantly struggle. What is that struggle you constantly have with your children? You sit down and look at that area. You see that you build a family constitution and you need to have a strong why, and then you need to bring your children along. What is that thing you are complaining about? What is that thing you are struggling about? Why is it a problem? Why is it a problem? You have to choose your battles when you are creating your family constitution. It's not everything, because sometimes many of the things we actually battle about with our children is not a misbehavior. It's just things, it may be irritating behavior, or just sometimes our mood, sometimes our programming, sometimes a lot of things like that. So you need to select your battles. You need to make sure that you actually have battles in certain areas. Phone use is certainly a good one. We've talked about phone use before. Your children are addicted to phone. It's certainly a good one. See that your child is beginning to dress inappropriately. It's certainly a good one. You see that they're beginning to be influenced by peers. They are taking to some behaviors, maybe experimenting with alcohol, betting, watching porn, breaking curfew or coming home late, not being responsible, just being lazy. Maybe they eat and leave their plate in the room. They don't sit at home. These are battles. You will sit down and you want to look at them with your children. You want to create clear expectations. Before then, you want to communicate. You as a parent, you want to understand these things, because I always say to parents that one of the reasons we battle with our children is either they are doing something we want them to stop, or they are not doing something we want them to do, right? So these are the two major reasons. So now you want them to stop something. Why do you want them to stop it? Is it valid? Or is it just you projecting your trauma or your baggage? You want them to start doing something. Why do you want them to start doing something? Is it really valid? Or again, is it you just projecting your baggage or your trauma? Why? So you have to understand your real why, and your whys have to be valid, and your whys have to be communicated in the way that it is your child benefit. It is to the benefit of your child. Your child is the one benefiting from your why. Yes, no matter what it is. That is why last week our talk time in the Visionary Parent Academy was the topic of small things, big you. The small things they do every day that actually help them grow. So if you have that ebook, that materials we use, you can use it to have conversations with your children. You can use it to teach them how your expectations, the things you want them to do that you battle over, how that thing can actually help them, how it benefits them. As something like doing chores, something like even running errands for you, something like not talking back, something like patiently listening when somebody is talking, something like helping their siblings out. It's all for their benefit. Little things that help them become the big them. So you want to sit down and go through the reasons for your battles. Make sure the reasons are valid. Bad friends, peer influence. That is the next time. So what does it look like? Your child suddenly start behaving somehow. This, you know how when your child is being influenced, they come up, they are doing things they usually don't do. They start telling you, oh, and they want to bet. Betting is not a big deal. They can even justify it, try to justify it. It's not a big deal. They start behaving certain ways that you know that this my child, something is up somewhere. They become secretive, or sometimes, and so these are negative influences. You see them, they're hanging out with the wrong people. What do you want to do? Again, you need to reach the heart of your child. You want to have a conversation with them. Not everybody can be their friend. Now remember, you have a teenager now, not a tata. You can say, if I see with that friend, I am going to beat you. No. If you tell your teenager, if I see with that friend, maybe I will not give you allowance again, maybe I will beat you or something like that. Okay, they are super smart. You don't go with them to church. You go with them to church. They have their own department. You have your own department. You have your own class. You don't go with them to what is it called? School, right? Even if you tell the teachers, please watch my child for me. Don't let them go with this particular person. Now, so they play, you know. So what you need to do is to reach the heart of your child. Understand why is that particular friend a influence? How they need to understand how that friend is a bad influence. You saying that friend is a bad influence, you have your reasons why you think that friend is a bad influence. So you need to convince them that that friend indeed is a bad influence. So you need to have the conversation with them. Now, if it's very bad, the friend has made them take into habits that are destructive, gaming, experimenting with drugs, sexual activities and all of that, you may need to change environment. Yes, change environment, move them. I say this to parents all of the time. I don't know, it's not hard for, parents in boarding school, their children are already doing things that is giving them trouble. I say, why don't you withdraw this child? The parent, they give one truckload of excuse. Withdraw them, even if it's school. That in school you realize that they are being influenced negatively. Change their environment, because most times talking to them is just like you have malaria, you are treating for malaria, or you are treating for typhoid. You still keep drinking the water that is the poison water. You keep drinking the poison water. Hello, okay, let me use one we all relate to. You take poison, you take anti-poison, you take poison. What are you doing? One step forward, 10 steps backward. Change the environment. You have been able to identify to the grassroots. Change the environment. If it means you register them for mentorship class, good and fine. Change the environment. Look for a healthier environment where the influence will be cut off. That's for bad friends. This is the seventh one. Lack of motivation and laziness. This one is very many. I get this every day. Your teenager is not self-motivated. They are not taking their life seriously. They are wasting away. We have a master class here on how to motivate your teen. You need to go and check out that master class. We have had a lot of videos here, a lot of classes here. We have a master class here that will help you, give you practical steps on how to motivate your teen. Because motivating your teen is not just a blanket approach. You need to understand the kind of teenager you have. What motivates your teenager? Some teenagers will get motivated because they see other people doing it. Some teenagers, some teenagers are not just self-starters. Those things that are not self-starters, you need to lay the foundation. You need to start for them. Then they will run. Some people are not self-starters. Some are finished starters. They are not finishers. You need to understand the exact type of teen you have. So you even also need to understand a bit of other things about your teenagers. When you understand that, you are able to help them motivate themselves and stop being lazy. Hey, I have been talking on and I have forgotten to remind you that the Visionary Parent Academy inaugural conference, Winning the Parenting Conference Battle, is going to happen next week. We are almost there, 24th to 29th June 2025. Winning the Parenting Battles Conference. Don't miss it. It's happening right here on this channel. Don't miss it for anything in the world. it promises to be transformational. We have coaches, we have leaders, we have parents who once had the questions you have, who once had the struggles you have. They are coming, but they have been able to crack the code. They are coming to share with you how they were able to crack the code. So the next one is house rules battles, where we'll talk about house rules, TV rules, phone rules, coffee rules, and all of that. You have house rules and your teenagers are not following it. One of the things you need to do is to sit down and set the rules with them. You need to understand, why are they not following the rules? What are they trying to communicate? Because every time they misbehave, there's a communication. Is it that they are being rebellious? Is it that they are being lazy? Is it that they feel that they shouldn't be doing these rules? They shouldn't be even obeying these rules? Is it that they feel that the rules are not realistic? What is the exact reason? Why are they not following the rules? You need to first of all sit down and understand why they are not following the rules. Is it that they want to get back at you? They are angry or something. You need to understand why they are not following the rules. So after that, you need to sit down. You all are going to make your rules together, because they're in your house. They don't have a choice but to follow the rules, and your rules are meant to actually keep everyone safe, everyone happy, everyone healthy. That is the essence of rules, whether at home or anywhere. Rules are to keep people safe, keep people happy, protect people's rights, right? So if your teenagers also, you have rules at home, then the rules is for them to empower them, keep them safe, keep them happy, and all of that. So you need to sit down, and all of you will create your rules together. You create your rules together, and depends on your family vision or your family values. You are not just going to import rules from other places or other people's homes. No, it depends on what your family vision and values, which you would have talked to your teenager about before you create rules. The next one is everyone else is doing it, battle, peer pressure. Your teenager is falling, doing it because everyone else is doing it. People are dressing half naked, they want to dress half naked. People are coloring their hair, they want to color their hair. People are locking their hair, they want to lock their hair. People are wearing bomb shorts, they want to do all of that. Because everyone is doing it, it's not a big deal. This is where you have to have a talk with your teenager. Everyone is doing it, it's not a big deal. Who told them it's not a big deal? You are not going the way everyone else is going. Everyone has a direction. Everyone has a destination. Everyone has where we are going to. I tell my teenagers in school, in church, that even your family is the family, because you didn't choose your family, right? So your family is part of your story. It's part of your purpose. It's part of your purpose. It's part of what comes together to make you. So what you need to do is to sit back and understand your purpose. If you don't understand your purpose, you are just going to copy another person, follow another person. The Boss of Me magazine for next month edition is Purpose on Purpose, teaching teenagers how to find their purpose and actually follow their purpose. That is next edition. So in that edition, I use I gave a story about some teenagers who wanted to enter a bus. They were at the bus stop. Hello, Ebuka, your voice is too much. Please bring down your noise and your play. Who were at the bus stop, and they just entered the next available bus. Where did they get to? Where did they land themselves? So everyone is doing it now. It's not a reason for you to do it. I tell my children, both in church and at home, that everyone is doing it. It is easy. It is fun. I feel like are no reasons to do it. I feel like it's not a reason. Everyone is doing it is not a reason. It is easy, it's not a reason. It is fun, it is not a reason. What is the reason? It is right. And what makes it right depends on your values, depends on your vision, depends on where you are going to. That is why you should do it. Depends on what you want per time. So everyone is wearing bomb shorts. Do you have to wear bomb shorts? Your mates may be wearing bomb shorts, but they may be lucky to live in an environment where we have sane people who are sane, and all of that, people who just call it fashion, who don't see it as a big deal in it. You may not be lucky. You may wear bomb shorts, and you're in an environment where people there see it as an invitation to treat. Everyone is doing it, doesn't make it what you should do. Right? Now, there's something called trigger factors. Like I also told my teenager in church one time, there are people that have smoked all their life, nothing has happened to them. So will you say because someone has smoked all his life, nothing has happened to them, you go and smoke? You may already have a trigger factor that when you smoke, you start having issues. You don't know. You may have an underlying issue. You have no idea. You have an underlying issue. God forbid bad thing. It's just like you have a sinking spot in your neighbor, on your road. You have a sinking spot. The other person doesn't have a sinking spot. Both of you are running. Because that person is running, that person runs and passes. Because the person's spot is not sinking. But your spot, you have a sinking spot. As you are about to run, you are running because that person is running. Remember, that person's spot is not sinking. So they run and they pass. Because your spot is sinking, you run. And you sink. Now, probably if you were not running, if you were walking gently, you probably would have noticed, oh, it is about to sink, and you run back. But because you are not running, because you are running, you run and you sink. And you run because the other person is running. People are doing it, doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it's for you. And then I tell my children that people have different grace. So it is not for you. People are doing it is not good enough. So use example. There are people who do a lot of things every day. People drive speed, they pass, nothing happen. People sometimes they want to cross the road, they are not mindful, they are lucky, vehicles are not coming, they pass. Does it mean you should go and do that? Nah, you don't do that because you do not know the factors, how much your factors are triggered already. You have conversations with them and use real life stories to emphasize, expatiate, and build their belief system. The next one is, I am not a baby. Woo! I am not a baby. Don't treat me like a baby. I told my son the other day that I understand you feel, oh, mommy is talking too much at this point, but I guarantee you that if you do this, if you don't repeat this again, I will not talk again. But if you repeat this particular thing, I am still going to talk because you are constantly communicating to me. So you repeating this thing simply means you are telling me I want you to talk. So don't repeat it and I will not talk, I am not a baby. I think I've shared enough of that already along the line, So you want to have conversations with them. You want to spell expectations out. Talk to them about expectation, and you also want to learn to communicate with them, to seek their opinion, not constantly to force them. And whenever you need them to have a change of opinion, you need to communicate it in such a manner that they understand you. Battle over fashion, songs, and trends. I've explained this already. Everybody is doing it. Doesn't mean you should do it. Everybody is doing it. It doesn't align with your values. It doesn't take you to your vision, your purpose view. It doesn't mean you should do it. You have a purpose view. That's your destination. So if it doesn't take you to your purpose view, everyone is doing it, doesn't make you should do it. I've talked about it already. There are clothes you wear, they draw certain attention to you. Attention you may not be equipped to handle. So you talk to them about that. School is a scam. School is a scam. School is a scam. Who is one major battle parents face? The truth of the matter is, it is because they don't see the proof many times, so they think school is a scam. It is why you need to also have good conversations with them. Is school a scam? Really? No. You're going to have conversations with them. If you need to register them for mentorship classes, please do. I tell my children that, school is for economic empowerment. Learning a trade is for economic empowerment. Learning a skill is primarily for economic empowerment. So what is it? If you're not going to school, you want to learn a skill. If you're not learning a skill, you want to learn a trade. So if you think school, what is that thing about school? You need to understand. I was telling the parent one time that the daughter said, she doesn't want to write JAMB again. She doesn't want to even enter university, that she wants to, she was already learning during the holiday, during her gap year, she was learning to make dresses. And so she said she doesn't want to make dresses. She doesn't want to continue with education. She wants to focus on dresses. And I told this mom that the reason your daughter doesn't want to continue with school is not because she thinks school is a scam. It's actually because she fears that she will not pass JAMB. So if she passes JAMB, I guarantee you that she wants to go to the university because she fears that she will not pass JAMB. So it is the problem with very many people. Some children, they feel, oh, I'll go and waste 4 years in school. Some, they feel, oh, school jam is jamming up and down. How will I even pass? They have fears. So you need to understand that fear is why they come up to say school is a scam. No matter the excuse they say, it is because school is that fear. So if your child feels, how can I go and spend 4 years in school? I will not get a job. They can be in school and learn a skill. They can be in school. It will not disturb them. I was telling my teenagers in church on Sunday that I have a set of twins in my family. 2 of them, they were in school together. One of them got admission before the other. You know, the one that got admission the following year, she is high energy. She was selling drop shipping while she was schooling. While the other one that got admission the earlier, she studied a 5 years course. The other one studied a 4-year course. So they eventually graduated at the same time. The one who was not drop shipping, who wasn't doing anything, she just focused on school. She graduated with a 2nd class lower. While the one who was drop shipping and hustling, she graduated with a 2nd class upper, almost a 1st class, because her CGPA was very high, almost a 1st class. What does that tell you? It simply tells you that school will not stop you, do not hold you back from learning a skill or doing what you are doing. So if you feel you don't want to waste 4 years, you can use that 4 years while in school, spend that 4 years learning a skill, learning a trade, network in school, do all you are doing in school, and still invest in your education, and you are still going to make a very good grade at the end of the day. School is a scam. School will not stop you from doing anything you want to do. That is the simple truth. And for the other one who is afraid, you can try motivate them. We have a video on motivation. You motivate them. One thing you can do to motivate them. Second thing you can do, like I was telling a parent one time, your child doesn't have to go to full time. They can go part time. There are other institutions they can go. You can use that to talk to them. They can do part time and learn a skill, combine them, and they will do fantastically well. Let's not be ignorant. You don't leave them at home. You keep forcing them. Year 1, year 2, they are writing jam. They are not passing. They can go for part-time. They can go for school of technology or technical school. At the same time, they are learning a skill. They are doing internship. At the end of the day, it's a win-win. So that is school is a scam battle. Remember, winning the parenting conference battle, winning the parenting battle conference is next week. Yes, we are almost there. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think so. Saturday we are wrapping up. So it's a conference that you have parents, reparent, who have the questions you have now, who once had the questions you have, who once had the struggles you have. They are coming to teach you how they crack the code, so that you too can learn how to crack the code. Thank you so much for joining me. I shared you 14 battles, from phone addiction to sexual abuse, sexual experimentation, to school is a scam, to power struggles, to peer pressure. I have taught you 14 battles that you may face. You may be facing in your parenting your teen, and I have given you practical steps to navigate them, to solve them. And remember, next week we are going to be bringing to you real life people, not just from theory, not just from textbook, but real life people who have had these experiences before, who will come and be teaching you. What you want to do is also to invite other parents to come and join us in this conference, because it promises to be super empowering. Thank you so much for joining. If you have not subscribed, just subscribe to this channel. If you are new here, subscribe. If you have a question, feel free to ask in the comment section. I'll come back to take it. We have a lot of resources. We have a thriving academy, and we have a lot of resources. Feel free to ask questions, and you get resources, you get materials to help you in your parenting journey. What you want to do, especially now, is to click the link, share, copy the link, and take it to your WhatsApp group where you have your children's school WhatsApp platform, you have your old school association WhatsApp platform, you have your church community, your mosque community, where you have parents. Please share and let them know that there's a channel here that actually brings parenting value, so that they will come here, learn and relearn. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you today. May God bless you, and may God give you victory over your parenting battles. Your children will turn out well in Jesus' name. Amen. Bye-bye.